G'day guys! Today I'm going to share with you a very neat little trick on how you can make your Bloodletters strike with damage 5 melee. This is an absolutely brutal combo that's going to really catch your opponents off guard, so let's get into the video.
Look for the blood god.
Alright, you might be wondering how is it possible to get those Bloodletters to 5 damage, and this has been facilitated by something in the recent updates to the rules commentary in regards to abilities with the same name. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 Rend Masters of Khorne. This is a Chaos Demons unit that's absolutely amazingly powerful at the moment due to the new ruling on the way that abilities with the same name work. So let's have a quick look at that rule, and then let's have a look at a couple case studies of how you can apply it. Abilities with the same name. Abilities with the same name, excluding aura abilities, can affect units multiple times, but if such an ability applies a named condition such as suppressed, that condition can only affect the target units once at any given time. Example 1. Anna has 2 Great Unclean Ones in her army, and targets an opponent's Intercessor squad with both of those models' Nurgle's Rot ability. This ability is not an aura, and it can be applied multiple times to the target, reducing the toughness characteristic of models in the Intercessor squad by 1 for each use of the ability, for a total of reduction of 2 in this case. Alright, so this update basically means that aura abilities still can't stack with each other. If you have 2 auras that are the same name and that you've got a model within range of both auras, you would only get 1 benefit. However, if it's not an aura and it's a targeted ability, they do stack even if they are the same ability. So this means that if you take multiple units with a ability that they can target an enemy unit, then you're going to be able to stack those benefits. Now let's have a look at what the Rend Master does, and you'll start to see why this is so crazy. Alrighty, the Rend Master has an ability called Blood Thrown. At the start of the fight phase, select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to this model. Until the end of that phase, each time a friendly Khorne Legiones Daemonica unit makes an attack that targets that unit, improve the strength, armor penetration, and damage characteristics of that attack by 1. Alright, so now you're starting to see the way this is going to work. These abilities targeted enemies, so therefore they stack, and if you take 3 Rend Masters, you're going to be able to increase your strength, AP, and importantly, damage characteristic by 1 for each Rend Master. And what this does is this takes the humble Bloodletter, who has a 2 damage weapon, and makes that into a 5 damage weapon, which means a couple of strikes from a Bloodletter could kill a knight. It's absolutely wild. It obviously affects other Khorne demons as well, so you can get Flesh Hounds up to damage 4, you can get Blood Crushers up to ridiculous damage. Hell, you can even make a Bloodthirster go in and just do an ungodly amount of damage. Personally, I think this is the most effective when applied to things like Bloodletters because they're so cheap. They're not paying a premium for a high damage weapon, so when you apply this buff to them, you get a lot more value. Whereas if you apply it to something like a Bloodthirster, they're already doing very high damage, and they're also paying a premium in points for the ability to do that high damage. So taking something like Flesh Hounds or Bloodletters and dialing them up is really, really crazy. It also massively impacts the strength and armor penetration of these as well. So if you go in with Flesh Hounds who are only AP 1 in melee, and you go, well, actually, I would like to make them AP 4, and now they're just mincing their way through Space Marines. So this is an absolutely mental combo. The best part about this combo, however, the part that's the most unassuming, is that you're probably not going to go for 5 damage Bloodletters every time. What you're probably going to do is modulate your damage. And you might be like, okay, that target over there, they have 4 wounds per model, so I'm going to use 2 Rend Masters to get plus 2 damage on them and send in the Bloodletters, so now I'm doing 4 damage. And then this unit over here, they're 2 wounds per model, so I'm going to put 1 Rend Master's ability on that and send the Flesh Hounds in to deal with that. So it allows you to modulate your damage to perfectly target whatever it is that you're trying to kill. If you want to do 3 damage across the board, you can pick 3 separate targets, send in Bloodletters to all 3, and all of them are going to get hit by that 3 damage attack. Really, really cool. And also, it means that if someone does kill one of your Rend Masters, you can still get the +2. If they kill 2 of them, you can still get +1. It's just really bananas how much damage these guys do. And you're probably looking at this going, well, the Rend Masters, people are just going to target them and kill them. And it's like, that's fine. The Rend Masters are actually quite tough, and they're actually quite cheap. They're only 150 points, so it's like the equivalent of a unit of Exalted 8-bound pre-balanced starter slate. So they're really cheap. They're quite tough. They've got a 4-up invulnerable save. They've got lots of wounds. And they're just going to be really effective at doing their own thing, as well as applying this insane buff to the rest of your army. I think the best way to do this is to start your list with 3 Rend Masters, put in some Blood Crushers, put in some Bloodletters, put in some Fleshhounds, put your Rend Masters in strategic reserves so that you can bring them in from Deep Strike, which means your opponent really can't stop you. All you need to do is be visible and within 18 inches, which with the Deep Strike ability that all Khorne Demons have, it's going to be very hard for your opponent to stop you from pulling off this insane, powerful turn when you drop those things down and then you move out all of your combat threats. It's going to be absolutely brutal. It's also worth noting that this changes the damage characteristic of the weapons. So all of those Bloodletters with the devastating wounds, if you add the Skull Taker to the unit, or the Blood Crushers when they get the devastating wounds on their bladed horn attacks, all of that gets extra damage. So those devastating wounds are going to absolutely wreck face. Really, really powerful stuff. So I think this is going to be one of those things that's almost certainly going to get FAQ'd, because when people realize the power here, they're going to be absolutely blown away. The way that your opponent's going to have to try to deal with this is to screen you out with stuff that doesn't matter, or if you go into an army that has a lot of MSU, lots of 1-wound models, then this obviously isn't particularly powerful. So it's not going to be an amazing thing into everyone, but the times when it is going to be amazing, it's going to be next level. Your opponent is 100% going to ask you to show them that rule, because this is absolutely bananas. Alrighty guys, we'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think of the Rend Master and his ability to make Bloodletters go to strength frickin' 8, damage 5, AP 5 weapons. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that's crazy? Do you think this needs to get FAQ'd? Do you think it's better when used on Fleshhounds, Bloodletters, Blood Crushers? What are your sort of thoughts? Let's have a conversation in the comments below. And if you want to show your support for the channel, head over to blogforthebloodgod.com. There's tons of ways you can show your support there. You can get a t-shirt like the one I'm wearing now. We've got neoprene objective markers. We've got terrain. We've got dice. We've got all kinds of cool swag that you can pick up that is going to a couple bucks every time you buy one, which helps me improve the quality of this content. Or you can head over to our Patreon, join our Discord server where I do one-on-one coaching, list advice, construction. We also have regular phone calls in the upper tiers and just talk about upcoming events and plan things out that way. There's a ton of really cool stuff there, and it's also just a ripper little community. So if you want to check that out on blogforthebloodgod.com. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
the Warhammer community suffers from some of the most prohibitively expensive essentials in the world, especially Australian content creators. Every single day, Dean wants to create content, but he can't. Suffering from old, worn-out brushes, expensive model kits, and costly software and equipment he can't endure much longer. Just look at this dirty paint water. Would you drink this? Would you let your child? Even a small monthly donation can help provide Dean with clean paint water, basic tools for survival, and access to life-saving information and education. So please, follow the links in the description below and find out how you can sponsor a mad cunt like Dean today and end the suffering. Suffering that is cruel, unsustainable, and your fault.